Every year at this time of year, toward the end of the school year, the Wild Hare Racing Club is racing against the clock. The group of South Dakota State students is turning the final wrenches on a Formula One style car that they have designed and built basically from the ground up.
This year we're trying to do something new, like we're going to a completely different engine, going from a Yamaha to a Honda engine. That's a big change. It affects a lot of parts of the car.
It definitely is very powerful, which I wasn't expecting when I first saw them at competition, but they can go. They're definitely not a golf cart.
Ben Brainerd has always liked cars and engines and learned from his grandfather, who was a diesel mechanic. He likes the hands-on experience that this project provides, and that this is just a lot more fun than a classroom class.
I've done a lot of things, especially at school, where your payoff isn't that interesting. At best, you get a letter grade on your report card, which is not that interesting. But seeing a race car go, that's like, hey, I did that. I had a part in that, so lots of fun that way.
The Wild Hare Club has about 20 members, and as a group they only meet for 4 hours a week, so much of the work gets done by the individuals on their own time.
I squeeze it in where I can just because I'm passionate about this. I wish I could put in more time than I can, but yeah.
𝗲𝗲 Downs is a sophomore from South Africa. She is one of 3 Wild Hare members who are also on the school swim team, and this club was one of the attractions that brought her to SDSU.
It was one of my considerations at a university. It wasn't a make or break, but I did like that they had a formula club. Yeah, I reached out to them because I arrived late my first year and I was like, can I still join? And they were like, yep, options always available. So that was a nice thing to become like part of the team immediately.
The team is broken down into smaller squads to handle different aspects of the build. 𝗲𝗲 and her group work on aerodynamics, which kind of flows with her swimming background.
I don't think about it as much in swimming, obviously. It's not something that goes in your head when you're like, we're more focusing on technique, but the whole drag, that has always been an interest. So maybe that is what led me to aerodynamics.
Ben and his group work on the chassis and the suspension. He has been studying torsional stiffness.
You twist the frame, and then you see how much force it takes to basically twist your frame 1 degree, or per se, and the stiffer the better. So we want to keep that while also making our car overall smaller and lighter, and then more maneuverable too.
Brandon oversees everything. He leads the business team that reaches out to sponsors and heads up the club's public relations, which is a big part of what the group does as well.
We help out the school with school recruitment. Like there's junior days and senior days at SDSU where high school students come and visit on campus to see what SDSU offers, and we bring our car out and we talk to the students and let them know that there's fun stuff like this for them to do if they come to SDSU.
And one of the funnest things for the club is the National Formula SAE competition in Michigan, where the relatively tiny SDSU club will compete against hundreds of other schools in the United States and from around the world. Reps from car companies like Tesla and Ford will judge their design and put the car through acceleration test and brake test, and an endurance event that the SDSU team has not even completed in recent years. And finishing that event is one of the big goals for this year.
Going through a long distance race is a challenge to overcome. So that's definitely it's the last event at the competition. It's the one that everyone looks forward to. If you make it through endurance without your car braking, that's an accomplishment of itself.
Everybody on the Wild Hare team says that they have learned time management and organization from being part of the process. They have learned how to make mistakes, but adapt and reevaluate and keep moving in the right direction. They would all rather talk about the team instead of themselves.
The team atmosphere, what we do is insane still to me. I've never done something like this. I've never been part of the practical side of engineering, so it's a big change, but really enjoying it, learning a lot too.
I had a lot of joy from being able to work on the car and then also spend time with our teammates. It's a really good team. I'm excited to go to competition with them. Really good people too.
And for most, it might be the last time they get their hands on a race car. Brandon will use his degree in operations management to get into the supply chain and logistics business. Ben has given a 5-year commitment to the Navy after graduation. But Cyan, she actually has plans to stay on the racing track.
So my overall goal is actually to join a Formula One team, possibly in the UK. That would be the absolute big goal, which would be really interesting to join.
Well, the Formula SAE competition really got going big in the 1980s. The SDSU club has only been around since about 2006, but they are looking forward to the national competition that was in Las Vegas last year, but goes back to Michigan this year, where it usually takes place. Thank you for watching Midco Sports Magazine. Have a great summer. We will see you in the fall of 2022.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.